35 years after the cult classic The Breakfast Club, actor Emilio Estevez is back in a library. This time he steps behind the camera to write, direct, and star in The Public, a powerful new film about what happens when a library in Cincinnati is overtaken by a group of homeless people looking to make a social statement. Take a look.
This is a peaceful demonstration.
So no one's being held against their will?
No, everyone is here because they want to be here.
Everyone is here because they want to be here.
Would it be safe to assume that some are not of sound mind?
I mean, you don't need to be mentally ill to know that it's freezing outside, Detective.
The movie hits theaters today, and joining us live from New York is Emilio Estevez. Good morning.
Good morning, Atlanta.
Hey, so how excited are you that this day is finally here? Because this has been a project in the works for you for many years.
That's right, 12 years to get to this day. I started working on this in 2007. It began with a newspaper article in the LA Times, and the essay was written by a former Salt Lake City librarian who basically was talking about how libraries had become de facto homeless shelters during the day, and how librarians were now tasked with being first responders. And I was really moved by the piece, and I began to do some research on if this was in fact the case, and Chip's piece was spot on. And so I began to imagine what a story would look like if on a particularly cold night the patrons, many of whom are homeless and mentally ill, decided to stage an old-fashioned 60s sit-in, how the media might spin it, how law enforcement would react, and how a politician in the middle of an election cycle might spin the story for his own political gain. And so you can imagine over the last 12 years, I'm watching the stories that are in the script unfold in real time.
Absolutely.
On television, and it's a little uncanny, and but it's also been very frustrating.
Yeah, finally getting to this day now filmed on location at the Cincinnati Public Library. I also want to talk about the huge cast involved in this. Alec Baldwin, Michael Kenneth Williams, Taylor Schilling, Jenna Malone, Christian Slater, Gabrielle Union. I could keep going on and on. How does it make you feel when you hear actors like Alec Baldwin say, when Emilio Estevez calls with the project, you say yes?
You know, and I didn't even pay him that much money to say that. It was just a few $100. He's, you know, in the 35 years that I've been doing this, and this is outside of family, Alec has been the most supportive colleague and fellow artist that I have ever worked with. He's just he's a joy to work with, and he's amazing in this film because, you know, for the last, I don't know, 15 years, we've seen him in comedic roles. Obviously SNL and 30 Rock. But in this movie, we're reminded what an amazing dramatic actor he is.
Well, and we mentioned The Breakfast Club off the top there, coming on the 35-year anniversary. It, of course, transcends generations. But personally, I grew up in the 90s. So the reunion I'd like to see is actually Mighty Ducks. Can we make that happen?
You know, write the script, and I'll be back.
I'd like to see Gordon Bombay back out there.
Right? So, but I don't know. You know, you wonder. There are a lot of these reunions happening, and then audiences complain that there's nothing fresh, and that you know, Hollywood doesn't come up with any new ideas. So I'd hate to be accused of that. I think
well, this is, I think,
I'm trying to come up with new stuff all the time.
I think that's what you're doing. Absolutely.
We haven't seen this before.
Emilio, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Our thanks also to Universal Pictures for providing production assistance with today's interview. The Public is playing now.